Hi Internet, happy Thanksgiving and welcome to my YouTube channel where we do a daily crossword puzzle. Today we have the Thanksgiving Day crossword from the New York Times, a Thursday puzzle posted on November 27th, 2025. The constructor is Alexander Liebeskind. The editor is Will Shorts. And let's get into the puzzle. So one across is feature of a mountain or fingerprint. Both of those have ridges, so maybe ridge singular would fit. 14 across is type. Not sure. 17 across, football offense arrangement that resembles an inverted Y shape. We have 3 circles in the grid, one of which is in this answer. Don't know what that is. 20 across, high key. No, and 23 across, symbols for density in physics. Not sure about that. One down, more cold and wet. Probably ends in ER. Not sure what that is. 2 down, like some wolfhounds and whiskey. Both of those can be Irish. 3 down, lucky scientist, perhaps. Don't know that. 4 down, this is terrible. Gur or Ga might fit. 5 down, actor Idris is Idris Elba. So type. A type of type is a font, no. Wishbone. Wishbone is something from football, right? And that's what a wishbone looks like, an inverted Y. Wishbone would be appropriate for Thanksgiving Day, where you might have a wishbone from your turkey. Raw weather is cold and wet, isn't it? So rawer could be more cold and wet. Ariel, I think it's E for E in Ariel if it's a mermaid, and A if it is a font. And a type of type would be a font, so Ariel is one of those. Ga for this is terrible. High key, the escape key is high up on your keyboard, I guess, if you think of the top of your keyboard as the part furthest away from you. And then a lucky scientist could be a discoverer. That fits. Rho is a Greek letter that might be used in physics to indicate density. Let's guess that. 27 across, a low-lying area. Could be a vale, a valley. 18 down, anxious. On edge. Are we putting O-N-E into the circle? And then DGE would finish on edge. 21 across, big initials in home security. There is an alarm company like ADT or ADF, something like that. 6 across, deli counter units. Could be kilograms maybe, or pounds. 15 across, Thanos to the Avengers. He was their foe. And 7 down, wild scene. Yeah, so I think this isn't, wishbone isn't going to be used here. I think O-N-E is going to go into this circle. It's an offense arrangement, so the wishbone, I don't know what the rest of the clue is. A wild scene could be a mob or a riot, what? 8 down, sang to, serenaded. I stand at your gate, and the song that I sing is of moonlight. My love, here I wait, and I sing you a song in the June night. A love song, my darling, a moonlight serenade. All right, so serenade goes in for 8 down. I'm going to put foe in for Thanos for the Avengers. Wishbone formation might fit here. And we're going to put the letters O-N-E into this circle. I'll do that at the end of the puzzle. Bound for, 6 down, it's off to. I think it's ADT for the home security company. Anxious is on edge. And select as a career is to go into. And 19 down is the Mets that gave $765 million to Juan Soto in 2024. If only in 2019, after the World Series, I really thought the Nats were going to build winning team around Juan Soto and Max Scherzer, but they elected to sell everybody off instead, and now we haven't been in the playoffs since. A zoo is a wild scene and ounces for deli counter initials, and that fits. Okay, 19 down, Mets, yep. Stranger, more strange, could be eerier, more eerie. 9 down, Anno Domini, period. Not quite sure about that. 10 down, against, anti, fits. 11 down, creamy pairing with fig jam. That goes well with brie cheese. 12 down, obnoxious sort, could be a boar. 13 down, Blank Petrie, first African-American woman to write a million-selling novel, The Street, in 1946. Not familiar with that title. Probably Anne or Nan, maybe. Blank Dabadoo for 9 across is Yabba Dabba Doo from Fred Flintstone. We'll try Anne Petrie as the author. And 16 across, company that's the subject of the documentary The Smartest Guys in the Room. I'm going to guess that is about Enron. So Year of Our Lord is what Anno Domini means in Latin. Of our, this could be 4. So we had O-N-E in this circle, which spells the number 1. F-O-U-R could be a number 4 here, and then we finish the phrase with Lord, the year of our Lord. 29 across, good person to give a time-consuming project, maybe. And put the letters F-O-U-R in this circle. What would that be? Not sure. 26 down, that's relatable. I can something. What about over here? 34 across, Saint Blank, city on a bay. A city by the bay, I left my heart in San Francisco. I'm not sure what that is. St. Petersburg. St. Pete is a city on Tampa Bay. So there we go. Gloomy as an atmosphere. I kind of like sadder for that. 37 across, skincare product thinner than a moisturizer. Serum I've seen used in the puzzle before for skincare products. I think of serum, I associate that with medicine, but I think that works. Saturnine is an adjective that means gloomy. So we put the digit 9 in here, the number 9, N-I-N-E. Saturnine. And then 43 across, process for a descending spacecraft. Is it lunar? Nope. 40 across, in blank, developing in utero, in the uterus. Group that's down on all furs could be PETA, against fur or other uses of animals. 37 down, go after in a way to sue. Earn, process for a descending spacecraft. Earth re-entry. Do we use the number 3 for the across? 9 for the down. 3 for the across would give us Earth re-entry. Good person to give a time-consuming project, maybe. Wishbone formation on edge. I think 1 goes in here in both clues. I'm not sure how the theme is working. 26 down, that's relatable. 35 across, Latin for butt, I think is said. 38 across, T follower, could be the letter V. That doesn't work. T or TV, the phrase TV. Tee-hee as a laugh, maybe. 41 across, like nonagenarians, people in their 90s would be old. I feel ya for that's relatable. 35 down, person who's off base. A shortstop, I think, would be off of second base, close enough to cover the base in baseball. 46 across. Let's get back over there. Losers to the Olympians. I think the Olympians and the Titans were rivals in Greek mythology. 45 across, kerfuffles could be a do's. So we put, for the year, for 9 down, we put FOUR. For 29 across, we could put TWO, the word to, finish it with RKER to get fast worker, who might be a good person to give a time-consuming project. Year of our Lord. So we have 1 here. We have 2-4. This isn't the date, is it? 124.93. I don't know. 36 across. One way to live. Nope, 39 across. Greek theater is an Odeon, I think. 42 across. Josh's ribs. 30 down. Ship to shore communicators. Or radios, I guess. 31 down. Essential biochemical process that releases energy in cells. Don't know that. Big ones might clash. For 32 down, let's try egos. And 33 down, blank fair. Medieval themed festival would be a Renaissance fair or a Ren fair. One way to live is to live large. Essential biochemical process that releases energy in cells, beginning with Krebs. Maybe Krebs is the scientist who discovered it or described it. I'm not familiar with that. 48 across, sing like Ella Fitzgerald. Scooby-Dooby-Doo is to scat, to sing using syllables rather than words, nonsense syllables. So I think I was singing when I put this in, didn't I? I think 28 down begins with lemon as a citrus dessert. So it could be lemon tarts. 51 across, Coke versus Pepsi, and Apple versus Samsung. Ad wars, maybe. Advertising wars. Tread on me. You tread on a tire. When we see an exclamation mark at the end of a clue in the New York Times, it typically means that it's just a very literal reading of the phrase. Tread on me. What has tread on it? A tire. My favorite clue in that vein is see here, with an exclamation mark, and the answer was I. Where do you see with your eye? 57 down, California's capital, in some of its nicknames. Sacramento is known as like Sacktown or Sackville, like that. 51 down, cousin of turquoise is a color, could be aqua. 52 down, disappointments, not sure. 53 down, with 45 down. Hey, hold on. Wait a sec. I think that fits. And then 57 across is square. Okay, so 1 is the square of 1. 4 for the down is the square of 2. And 3 for the across here, if we square that, we get 9. So we're putting in the digits 1, 2, and 3, or the numbers 1, 2, and 3, written out in the circle for the across clues, and then we're putting their squares in the down clue for the down answer. All right, that's fun. 54 across so far, yet. Surely I could always be that way again, and yet I've grown accustomed to the trace of something in the air, accustomed to her face. Disappointments are duds for 52 down. 60 across is audit, to check someone's checks, check somebody's books. Tosses out is casts, and duds. Okay, so that finishes that one. 57 across, complete an impossible task, or a hint to reading 3 down answers in this puzzle. So to square the circle is to complete an impossible task. And if we had the across answer already filled in and couldn't figure out the down, we would know that this would be a 3, and we need to square that circle to find 9 to finish the down clue. And that's how that works. 58 down, center of activity is a hub. 61 across, openly gay is out. Russian refusals are Niets for 47 down. 64 across, Antiques Roadshow Network is PBS. 56 across, ouch, don't know. 62 across, Total Brawl, might be Melee. And 65 across, use as one's influence, not sure. 55 down. Put your pens and pencils down. Time, the proctor might call at the end of the test. 59 down. Vivat blank. Long live the king. I think that's Vivat Rex. In Latin, you can exert influence for 52 across. I like melee for a total brawl for 62 across. The biochemical process that releases energy in cells might be the Krebs cycle. Not familiar with it, but I think that fits. Many an internet user informally for 49 down could be a user of AOL or an AOLer. Ouch could be yow, and hashtag's place would be in a tweet, and I think W finishes the puzzle, and then we just need to figure out how to fill out the circles. If I use this rebus button up here, that's the way you're supposed to do it. You highlight the square you want to rebus in, you hit that button, and then it'll let you type letters. But that's been taking me out of the puzzle. Maybe I'll try pausing it and see if that... And we're back. I did use the rebus control. It did take me out of the puzzle, but I was able to scroll back down and then type in the answers. So what I did, I put 1 here. I put 2/4 into this circle, and the software just corrected it to 2. So we put 2 in, and it's understood that we're going to square that for the down. I put 3/9 here, but it changed it to just 3. So this is what it is. 1, 2, and 3 are the entries, and we weren't supposed to type the squares for the 2 and the 3 in the downs, and that's how that works. So I'm going to give myself credit for solving that, figured out the theme, got the happy music, which was playing while I had the video on pause, but I did get it. All right, so wishbone formation. Okay, wishbone came not right away. I had a couple downs before I thought of wishbone for a football offense arrangement that looks like an inverted Y shape. And that one is kind of appropriate for Thanksgiving. I don't think the others have anything to do with Thanksgiving, but wishbone might. Wishbone and odd edge, once I got this crossing, made me think we were going to use a rebus in the circle. I had 4 here, but didn't think that there would be anything different for the across, because this one is the same for both. Same here. I think here, when I realized Saturnine is a word, and Earth reentry is also a word that would fit there, I thought, okay, how are we putting those in? And I did need the revealer to tell me that we're going to use squares of the numbers in question. So that was fun. What clever clues did we have here today? Irish for wolfhounds and whiskies. Boar, I haven't seen that word used a lot. Krebs cycle is new to me. I'm going to have to look that up and add that to my crossword generated knowledge, that I kind of keep a list of things I've learned from only crossword puzzles. Shortstop, that was a good clue for shortstop. Person who's off base. And I think there might have been another one. Earth reentry. I've seen another clue that had Earth reentry with a number 3. That was a case where all the themed answers had numbers that complete them, kind of like this, but there were more of them, and I think Earth reentry was one of them. All right, I enjoyed that puzzle. Thanks so much for joining me. Please come back for more puzzles and games, and I'll see you next time.